All right, well, we're still working on problems from Chapter 1, 1.7. Part 1, use the distributive property to write each expression without parentheses, then simplify the result if possible. So the first problem is 4 times x plus y. And so when you do the distributive property, you have to do 4 times x plus 4 times y, because remember you're distributing the 4 to each thing in the parentheses. And so our answer is just 4x plus 4y. I'm not always going to show that middle step, but I wanted to begin with that. Okay, let's go on to number 2. We have 5 times 3x minus 7. Similar, 5 times 3x minus 5 times 7. So that'll give us 15x minus 35. Okay, let's go on to number 3. Negative 3 times x plus 10. And this time, remember, you're distributing the negative 3. So negative 3 times x plus negative 3 times 10, which is negative 3x. Now, this is going to be plus negative 30. But the way we want to write that is just minus 30. You don't want to write plus and negative. You could, and then at the next step, write negative 3x minus 30. Let's go to number 4. Negative 3 times 2x minus 4. Right. Very similar, but we got to be very careful of these negative signs. We've got negative 3 times 2x. Now, you could think this is plus a negative 3, or you could just say minus 3. That's the same thing as saying plus a negative 3. But you also have this negative 4. So it's a little bit confusing. So what you're distributing, really, is you could think of taking the negative 3, and you're going to multiply it by the negative 4. Okay? In any case, you're going to end up with a negative and a negative somehow. So then we get negative 6x plus 12. Common mistake is to write minus 12, not to use both these negative signs. All right, so that's 1 through 4. Let's go on to number 5. This one can be done two ways. You could think of when you have a minus sign out in front of a parentheses, you're just going to distribute the minus sign by writing the opposite of everything inside the parentheses. So inside the parentheses is an x, so the opposite of that will be negative x. Next, you see a plus 8. The opposite of that will be a minus 8. So that's one way to get the answer. It's probably the easiest. Another way of thinking about this problem is that minus sign out in front could be thought of as a negative 1 times x plus 8. And then you're going to distribute the negative 1 times x plus negative 1 times 8 to get a negative x. And notice this will give you plus a negative 8. I'm going to just write that as minus 8. It's more simplified to write minus 8. You don't want to ever write a plus and then a minus sign right after it. That makes it really confusing. All right, let's go on to number 6. Similar problem. We've got a negative side on the outside and a negative 2x minus 1. Let's just do this by taking the opposite of everything inside the parentheses. That's how you could think of this minus sign. It's the opposite of everything inside. So inside is a negative 2x. That'll become a positive 2x. And inside is a negative 1. So you're going to change that to a plus 1. And that's all there is to it. You could do it the second way, like I did in number 5, by distributing a negative 1 to each thing inside the parentheses, and you should get exactly the same answer. All right, 7. Got 2 sevenths times 35x minus 14. Okay, so you could do this. You're going to distribute your 2 sevenths, so you have 2 sevenths times 35x. Now, I'm going to write that 35 as 35 over 1. All All right, so you can cancel easier. Minus, and I'm going to, because from this minus sign, I'm going to distribute that 2/7 also to the 14, and I'm going to write that as 14 over 1. That way it's going to be a little bit easier when we cancel. So let's see, the 7 goes into the 35 5 times. So what I have here is 2 times 5 over 1 times 1. 10 over 1 is just 10. So this is going to be 10x. You don't want to leave that as 10 over 1, and you don't want to leave it as 70 over 7 if you didn't cancel. You have to reduce it all the way down to 10x minus, and let's see what's going on over here. The 7 goes into the 14 twice, so I have 2 times 2 in the numerator over 1 times 1. 4 over 1 is 4. So I've got 10x minus 4. All right, one more, number 8. 2 times 3x minus 1 minus negative 20. All right, so we have a distributive property here, 2 times 3x minus 1. Remember the order of operations? You do multiplication first. Well, first you do inside the parentheses, but they're unlike terms. The distributive property is just a way of multiplying when you can't simplify inside the parentheses. So we're going to have 2 times 3x minus 2 times 1. But there's no distributing here. This is just saying minus a negative 20. This is just dealing with negative numbers, positive and negative numbers. So that's going to be plus 20, right? Minus a negative, you could write as plus and plus. So what do we have here? 2 times 3x is 6x minus 2 plus 20. All right, so we've removed the parentheses, but I need to simplify it by adding like terms, and these are the two like terms, the negative 2 and the plus 20. So I have to add negative 2 and plus 20, that'll be 18, so that your final answer is 6x plus 18.